Well, because Avowed is an Xbox game, they were not a part of this past week's PlayStation State of Play.
Yes.
The third parties,
Yes.
as it was not explicitly said, but that's basically what it was, with a lot of announcements from third party developers.
Yeah.
This is not in the order they were released or
No,
necessarily talked about.
what I did was I put the biggest news at the top, a couple of important release dates, and then the rest because I did not watch this. I was at work, and unfortunately Wednesdays are the day I'm actually in the office, so I could not watch this. So I don't know anything about these. So I'm hoping you watch this to tell me about some of these other games that were discussed.
I watched it and was surprised at how much 2025 leases were coming out.
Okay.
But this first game we're going to talk about is not coming out this year.
No.
It's a 2026 release, but it's from Housemarque, the same people who made Returnal, and it looks like they're back at it with another Deathloop game. Because they announced
Saros.
Saros, Sarosaurus Rex. It's a Souls-like shooter because
Yes.
Returnal was also a shooter.
I thought Returnal was really cool. It was really hard,
It was
and I
hard.
couldn't get very far into it. But when I did play of it, I really enjoyed, and I get why people loved it as much as they did. This is an interesting kind of twist on the formula. It's similar in that it is also a shooter. However, I mentioned Souls-like because people just assumed it was going to be a roguelike like Returnal was, but no, apparently that's not the case. It seems like it's more of the Soul style, if you die, you have to get your corpse kind of vibe. Like it's very much like not a roguelike in the way that you're getting more powerful in that same kind of way
Mhm.
over the course of multiple games. It's a little different than that.
Yeah, and it's only a brief teaser shown of Saros
Yeah.
in a very like golden-esque vibe. It looked interesting, looked cool, but also as soon as it started, I got really like heavy Death Stranding vibes because it looked like
Sure.
in the middle of like a beach setting, fighting this unknown monster. Hey, like this big like Halo angelic like guardian,
Yeah.
and you just keep shooting at it. And I was like, okay, you're not saying anything, but it looks really neat. So it was like, okay, I may be interested, but now that you tell me it's Souls like, I'm like, okay, let me take two steps back over here, away from the fire.
I
Pyre.
mean, it might not be all the way in that direction. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be something that we'll probably learn a whole lot more about later and then feel a little bit more confident in what we feel about it.
So if you're all done playing Elden Ring and screwing about it, come get some Saros next year.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, like you said, we do also have a couple of dates coming out this year for games, including Metal Gear Solid Delta, colon, Snake Eater set, coming on 8/28. 28, 28, 28, 28, 28. Nope, nope, you have to wait 3 years. Just 8/28, 2025.
It's just Snake Eater because this is the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And yeah, August for that one, which, yeah, that makes sense. Good late summer game, early fall.
We also got the date for Borderlands for set for 9/23.
As Borderlands 4.
Yeah, set for 9/23. That's what I said.
Yes.
How else did you hear it?
You're saying these weird. Yeah, that's a September for Borderlands 4. Still, even after some new footage, still, I don't know yet. I feel like I was
Uh,
burned last time.
It feels like the Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 1 because there's no like overarching dialogue. There's no like hint of like what the narrative is gonna be. So it
Yeah.
feels like, hey, you like Borderlands. It looks like Borderlands. It's gonna play like Borderlands. Come buy
Yeah.
Borderlands. But we're not
They
gonna tell you with jack shit about what it is.
was that a pun?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, I think that at this point they know that this franchise kind of sells itself. 3 did just as well as the previous two did, and sales wise, I don't think they're worried about it at all. But yeah, it's a Borderlands game, and that's all we know. I think you're right. Like, it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with the narrative once they're ready to tell us.
Right,
But
because it definitely felt like three was a very send off finale.
yes and no. I didn't get that vibe from the end of that game as much.
Well, I mean, okay, so the whole world like Pandora and the world of Borderlands, that's yes, it does open itself up for any possibilities, but the way
Yeah.
like the narrative kind of ended and wrapped, it felt like it was a closed narrative for those
Yeah, for those
people,
characters. I
those
wouldn't be
characters.
surprised if this is not necessarily a reboot fully, but like, yeah, this is just like they're clearing the slate, and being like new heroes, new plot, like new villains, everything, which is
Hmm.
probably what they need to do because that stuff did get a little stale.
Yep. All right, and next up we have the rest.
Yes.
Yes, the best of the rest, including Onimusha, Way of the Sword,
Yep.
the
Remake.
2.5D
Yes.
side-scrolling adventure.
No, that's not the 2.5D one. This is Onimusha is the remake of the PS2 era game,
Oh, I'm thinking of Shinobi Art of Vengeance. That's the
which
one
is
I'm
later on
thinking of.
this list. Yes.
Yes. Well, let's name them both here since they're both based practically the same game here.
Yes.
Well, they're not the same game, but
But
uh, get your samurai swords out, get your ye old weapons out, and let's go kill him.
exactly.
We also have Ties of Annihilation, which, in my opinion, was the best looking game here.
Okay.
Uh, no idea what it's about. I like being in the dark about this, but I really love the title and I like the art
Sure.
style.
Okay.
We also have Days Gone Remastered for $10.
I think it's hilarious that they're doing this because Days Gone was not a critical like darling. It was kind of panned when it was released, and it does not have a great legacy. And so the fact that they're putting out a remake of that before Bloodborne, the one everybody wants, is very, very funny to me.
Yeah, but you can get the PS5 version for $10 if you got the PS4 version,
Yeah,
or
which
if you got the PS4 like or PS5
yeah.
free version, or the
Yeah, which is what I was gonna say. I think everybody got if they were an OG PS5
the like
owner.
the classics. When you got the
I think it's
PS5
in
like
there.
classics, it was part of that
So
collection.
$10.
$10 for a remastered. We also have Mindside. I
Yep.
forget which one this one was.
I don't know.
Oh, it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but was Mindside the Portal shooter?
Possibly. That sounds right.
I want to say that's when that one was. We also have Warriors, Abyss.
A Dynasty Warriors spinoff, I believe.
Yes. Speaking of spin-offs, Sonic gets a car in Sonic Racing, Cross Worlds.
I saw someone point out a very unfortunate fact about this, that if the footage that they showed at the Switch 2 reveal is to be believed, this might come out right after a new Mario Kart, which might be bad timing for Sonic.
I
But
mean,
who
isn't it
says?
always that Sonic comes after Mario?
Yeah, guess so.
Mario always gets there first. We also have Liza P DLC.
Yep, new DLC for Lies of P. People like that game. Another Souls-like experience. So
Mhm.
there you go.
WWE 2K25, where they showed off The Island,
Yeah,
aka their 50-person open world adventure game, online adventure where you can fight against any of the other 50 players on said island
just seems
and
like they're.
become the tribal chief.
It just seems like they're Fortniting it. Like, isn't that basically what's happening? Like, it's
No, they're doing like 2K NBA 2K like streets,
uh,
or like
uh
the background, whatever they call it.
actually, you know what that kind of
City.
reminds me of? Remember the thing they did in
Same thing. Yeah.
Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, where you can like walk around,
6?
like challenge
6. Sorry,
people.
6. Yeah, Street Fighter 6, where they were like you could walk around the city.
Yeah, you can fight people, or you can like
Yeah.
you challenge them in older Street Fighter games.
It's a neat idea.
Same thing here. Yeah. Fully customizable character you can have walking around. So
Cool.
that's always good and fun. So here we talked about that one. We have Metal Eden, and Lost Soul Aside, and Directive 8020. Those were the three new games that they showed
Yeah.
off here at the State of Play.
Yep.
Uh, and I want to say Directive 8020 was the space one.
Yes.
I don't remember the other two.
There were a lot of games,
Yeah, there's a lot of games, including some that they showed previously. Monster Hunter Wilds,
which
which
is weeks away from coming out, I
so
think.
wait,
It's very
yeah, so
soon.
like that one's around the corner, and Split Fiction, which I would still keep smiling every time I see that game.
Yeah, I mean you're someone who really likes those co-op games. So that makes sense.
Yep, and say people who did the divorce game.
Yeah. Yes. It takes two. Yes.
Yes, what I said, the divorce game.
The divorce game. Yeah.
Everyone, yeah, everyone's game of the year of divorce. It takes two.
Divorce game of the year.
Technically what it is. Yeah, and then down here you have some little stuff scribbled down here.
Yeah.
Dreams of Another, Darwin's Paradox, The Midnight Walk, Hell is Us, and Five Nights of Freddy's, Secret of Men of the Mimic.
I know this is not what this is, but I really want Hell Is Us to be a sequel to This Is Us,
That's what I was thinking
where
too.
they're all dead. Anyway.
I mean, it's a great story to have the game told a non-linear way too.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Anyway.
Anyways,
So
yeah,
overall,
lots of
how did you
games announced at
yeah,
State of Play. Lots of
how
stuff
did
that looks good. Lots of stuff that say it was coming out this year. There's a lot of 2025 dates, which I was happy to see, but
hmm,
also felt a bit overwhelming because it's like, oh, this is where all the games were that were supposed to come out like last year and 2023 and
yes.
2022.
I
We were
mean
like, where are the games?
this is exactly what happened with Microsoft Showcase, right? Which is like all of a sudden we're like, wait a minute. Oh, that's why it's been a couple of down years because they had a bunch of stuff that they were waiting on. And now we're seeing it. 25 seems to be the year. Yeah, like you said, everything getting finished and getting pushed out the door at long last. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really strong year.
Yeah, all right in time before the Switch 2 comes out in the holiday
Yes.
season.
Yeah. Get stuff out now before these tariffs come in. I think is kind of the vibe, right? Like just make sure we can actually afford all of these games.
Wait, they can't dare DLC, electronic game.
Yeah, digital stuff maybe we're okay, but I think all the prices go up and physical prices go up. So yeah, there's the risk there.
You're right. I forgot. They're all getting ahead of GTA 6 coming out later this
That
year.
too. Yeah, like I said, big year.
Yep, the $100 GTA 6.
We'll see.